Hi guys. Hey Jack, um, Alan Agajanian. He must be Armenian. Um, Technologically spastic. Hey Jack. Actually, I'm feeling kind of down. I didn't expect to. I wanted to come on and be upbeat, but I feel down. So let's try to see what what we can do to get going. I last time I Hey Eddie and Darren, I last time this is good. I think that's see Steve, I like that because you're seeing that it pulled back a little bit. Let me see where the price is. And not much. I mean, the ask is 34 cents, but it pulled back a little bit, and I think that's a good thing to buy. Rail is 33 and a half last trade, but it's 33 to 34 cents. And of the several, I don't know why this won't stay up. Of the several stocks we've talked about over the last months, I think Rail's my favorite. And obviously my videos are my opinion. They're not financial advice. I don't know each of you individually. And so it's just, it's discussion. But Rail, when you combine the story, and apparently there is a short position in Rail. I think there's a short in every stock that trades in North America. I think it's the most depressing, ongoing, slow motion theft you've ever seen. But it's just a symptom of financial markets structured to steal from all of us in minute ways and bring it to the top to a few handful of white men who end up divorcing their first wife and marrying America's most available woman, who then shows up to the inauguration looking like, hey, look at me. I don't know what's gone wrong with our country. Where did elegance go? Where did class go? Where did hard work go? Where did integrity go? I don't know. But anyway, I like Rail the best because it has this, I don't know if I have my little stupid little whiteboard here. I probably don't. I move things around so much when I don't know where it is. But anyway, Rail has this potential for value creation simply because it's gone from R&D in one of the hottest sectors out there to having a revolutionary product. There is an article I found. Oh no, it was YouTube. I'm really nervous about playing any more YouTube videos because I got a strike. I don't know what I did wrong, but I don't want to play the video. But anyway, this gentleman was talking about why in the gold mining space do the majors let other people do the exploration. I didn't listen to it all, but it's a lot like oil and gas. And I'm going to suspect that his answer is a lot of it's manpower. Secondly, they don't want losses. So no one in their decision-making process wants to own a loss. And they'd much rather pay billions of dollars for a viable asset then start from scratch and it doesn't work. These, the bigger companies become foundational shares in pension plans. They can't afford to take that kind of risk. So anyway, why would a Nvidia or a Microsoft or an AMD come in and buy RLAIF at huge premiums? That's what I'm proposing to you. I think that once this product gets out there, it's possible at least, and I've gone through their presentation, I've gone through their team, I'm not just making it up, that Railtown AI Technologies cleverly, the symbol is the same as a, I forget now, real learning AI something. Anyway, it's an area of science now. I think that one of the big companies could buy Railtown down the road. I'm not saying right away, but for billions of dollars. And you say, well, why? Why would they do that? Well, once this product, this conductor, which we've talked about, is well known and grows, and the customer base grows, it won't take very long for an investment banker or let's say a Nvidia acquisition manager to look at it and say, well, we could really benefit from having this company in our stable. Anyway, I like Railtown best of all. I do like Nixie very much. Next Trip, I think, can triple. I like Finger, of course, but Finger I also think they're trying to drive it down. But I think Finger over the next 90 days could double or triple. But you might be able to buy it cheaper during that time. And you need good news because, anyway, do the GDCs and the ZJYLs move? Maybe. And I like silver most of all. And I'm just going to read it while people join in. It won't take long. This is from the Jerusalem Post. And this is an old article this past summer. China's strategic silver takeover. Let me just make sure you're seeing it. Yeah, you are. China hoarding silver. China hoarding silver. Price is 10% higher than in the West. Secret weapon or economic warfare? China's strategic silver takeover, 10% price above the West. A hidden war for economic dominance. I've argued with you for a while that if there's honest markets, capital will flow there. And I think China is building an honest market in gold and silver, oil, maybe in the Middle East, maybe elsewhere. But I've also argued before that China's not ready to let the suppression of gold and silver prices stop because they haven't bought all they want. But let's see I haven't read this article. Let's see what it says. A hidden war for economic dominance. My eyesight, by the way, it's not good. So if I make mistakes, it's a very hazy. My eyes are very hazy. But I went in yesterday and it wasn't all good news, but he said, don't give up yet. But I'm going to have to get glasses. But he told me, let's not do anything for 30 days. Let's see how your brain settles out. And the good news, I guess, is my right eye is still strong, and maybe my right eye will continue to do the hard work that my left eye cannot do, like reading it. You know, for a long time, I could read pretty, like right now, if I close this eye, I can read pretty well. But now with this eye open, anyway, enough about me. I'm tired of talking about myself. What do you? Now, how about you? What do you think about me? While the world has been focused on the geopolitical tensions between China and the West, a more subtle battle I do wish I had my glasses. A more subtle battle has been unfolding in the global financial markets. China, through a series of calculated moves, has been quietly accumulating vast quantities of gold and silver. This move has signaled a potential shift. It has signaled a shift in the global economic landscape. And this move highlights the developing countries' need. I think I don't know if he wants this to be a plural or singular. Let's assume he's talking about all developing countries. It highlights developing countries' need for an enormous amount of resources. Silver, China's secret weapon. I want silver to be your secret weapon. It should be your secret weapon. Silver will become unobtainable. In addition to its gold hoarding, China has also been strategically increasing its silver reserves. The Shanghai Metals Exchange, and that's, I think, Shanghai Metals Exchange is going to knock out Chicago and London, I think, has seen and New York, has seen a significant surge in silver trading volume, with prices consistently higher than those on Western exchanges. Why could that be? They don't allow, maybe, I'm not sure, but they don't allow the entire annual production of silver in volume to be sold in paper in a day. They don't allow essentially selling ounces that don't exist for the greed of Western bankers. They don't allow it. This suggests that China may be deliberately driving up the price of silver to drain the West's resources. All right, let's think about that. So if you have physical silver and you have it on the London's Metal Exchange, you can sell it there, or you can get 10% more by selling it to China. That way China gets the real physical silver. And that's what I think is going on. The real money, the real ounces, the physical resource of gold and silver and maybe platinum and palladium, I don't know, are moving to Asia. And if you count Russia as part of Asia, which it most certainly is, at some point, the West is going to wake up, and we don't have the physical to meet the commitments that these hot traders make for paper ounces. In 2023, China reportedly had, that's 2023, almost 2 years ago, China reportedly had a silver reserve of 71,000 metric tons, second only to the silver producing powerhouse country of Peru, which boasted 98,000 metric tons in reserve. The United States came in 7th on the list of top silver reserves with a stockpile of 23,000 metric tons, behind Poland, Russia, Australia, and Chile. I have no idea how to read this, so let's skip over it. So the implications for the West. The rising price of silver could have significant implications for Western economies, particularly those who rely heavily on industrial metals. If the price of silver continues to rise, it could increase production costs for a wide range of industries. Cruise missiles. The tip of a cruise missile has a monster box of silver in its snout. 500 ounces of silver every cruise missile. For a wide range of industries, from electronics to solar panels, this could lead to higher consumer prices and a further slowdown of economic growth as China outproduces the West in electronics and solar panels. Why? They have the silver. The growing demand for silver. China is leading the way in solar production, to the point a recent Bloomberg article claimed they are producing more panels than can be put to use. That might be true. Bloomberg reported in May that China's silver imports reached a 3-year high of 390 tons in December and 340 tons in April. The monthly 5-year average is 310 tons. You know, out of context, we don't know what that means. Well, let's assume that's a lot of silver. Reports have shown China has produced so many solar panels that some citizens have used them as garden fences. 80% of all solar panels in the world originate from China. Why do we give up manufacturing? Because we're becoming a financialization. That's the end of empire. That's the end of an economy, is when everybody turns to financialization of everything. Silver imports are notably increasing under Xi, and most recently have spiked in June and July, that's last year, with both months surpassing net imports of more than 400 tons. Last year, that would be 23, the net importing of silver into China did not surpass 200 tons per month. US President Joe Biden slammed China's trade practices, claiming that China is over manufacturing solar equipment and therefore harming the West. Quote, the United States Trade Representative, the Department of Energy, and the Department of Commerce will closely monitor import patterns to ensure the U.S. market does not become oversaturated, and will explore all available measures to take action against unfair practices. What, they're just smarter than we are? They work harder? India's growing demand. India has also been a major buyer of silver, importing significant quantities from the West. So silver, the physical, is going to China, it's going to India, and recently we read that it's going to Russia. And we fiddle, importing significant quantities from the West in recent years. India's recent decision to reduce import duties on silver will further increase demand. Analysts warn the growing demand for silver coupled with limited supply, could lead to a silver squeeze, similar to the silver squeeze of 1980. That went from $3 or $4 to $52. If investors begin to panic and rush to buy silver, the price will skyrocket, causing disruptions. All right, enough boring stuff. Enough boring. All right, let's see what Song Bitch says. YouTube's good strike. Very short clips. Okay, I played too long. All right. What's the definition of short and what's the definition of long? Oh, you bought ZJYL. I think ZJYL is a worthy punt. It's trading at 86 cents. The low for 52 weeks is 70 cents. And as you know, it had a heck of a run up before. But that's all that story is. That's the potential short squeeze story. I like it, but all right. All right, so I don't have very many commentators. I'm sorry, I must have done something wrong. So I don't know what, there's no conversation. So I don't know what else to talk about. Let me see. I can see if Ham wants to come on. I don't think he does. He told me he didn't really want to do these anymore because there's too many boo birds. Let's just go through. Why don't we go through some of the stock charts and see if there's anything to learn? I don't know. There might be. There might be. It feels like everybody was on vacation for a month. Let me just take this down. I think I have to leave myself here so that you can see it. So otherwise, I'd take myself down. But here's ZJYL. That looks interesting to me. Look at this. Look at that. Maybe that. Yeah, ZJYL looks interesting. If it breaks out some number, maybe $1, it could move up to this 250 very quickly. Um, yeah, I like CJYL from this chart. It looks like it's strengthening, and maybe it goes to 4. So you're on to something, Steve. Let's see what GDC looks like. That's a little more of a stretch, but let's see what we can do with that one. What I like here is this. I like this. Now, I may be I'm not drawing it in the best way, but I think this is a bullish pattern. And let me see. This is going up. That's nice. And I would say it's hard to find something. Yeah, maybe that $1.95, $2 range gets it to go to 220. I don't know what to get excited about here. I don't see an exciting breakout. All right, I'm going to pick here. I'm going to say if it breaks out above 240, you could see 350, and maybe up here, all the way up here to 550. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Let's look at, do I dare do it? Let's look at finger. God, it got killed, didn't it? It got killed. Very basic chart. It's a pennant, if you believe it. So, if they can break it down, the next trend is down. If it breaks up, the next trend is up. But by definition, as more time goes by, it's going to pick one direction or the other. And there's no question in my mind, this is for finger, that the criminals are trying to get it under $1. But on the positive side, if it breaks above 120 with volume, I think it could go fill this gap here. So it can go to 2. And that's kind of pounceable. All right. The problem with RLAIF is the chart doesn't tell you much because of this stupid 1 day's trade. This chart doesn't tell you anything. They're trying to get it down, obviously. What else? God, look at that. That stock's going higher. This is NVIDIA. I think it's going higher. I mean, you could say that's a head and shoulder, and then it's going to come back down. So I'd keep tight stops, but what an overpriced stock. $3.58 trillion market cap. NVIDIA. All right. No, it won't. It should, but it won't. But I would get it out of Webull. E-Trade's Morgan Stanley's a much more legitimate firm than Webull. I think Webull's all fake. I mean, that was to my memory, that was their original business plan, was to give you fractional shares. They're all but admitting they're just giving you IOUs. But there's no attempt to settle anything. I hear, oh, can I look at a Santa chart for the sanity clause? Sure. I don't know, but I've been told. Mississippi woman. Santa Biotech. Oh, you got to be careful there. Why? Let's go out to 5 years and see what it tells you. Same thing. Let's go back to the 1 year. See, they do this. They sucker you. They get it to run gap, and then as soon as it's up, they have unlimited ability to sell shares which don't exist. There's no enforcement. The shares end up offshore where they stop even tracking them in the United States. So they sell, there's this huge volume day. And what's the lesson? As soon as these stocks trade up, you've got to take some money. Even if you believe it's the next best thing ever, you've got to take money off the table. Just got to do it. It runs, you're going, oh my gosh, it's going to go. I'm going to be rich. I don't want to sell any. It's probably time to sell some. But I don't like this chart. I don't like it at all. But, you know, it's already pulled back, so I might be too late. But this, I mean, I don't see anything good about that. There's a gap to fill that could go all the way back down to here. The volume was strong, and now it's next to nothing. And you're going to tell me, well, if you get out here, you might miss a big move up, and that's the problem. Let's look at the 5 year. You know, you just never know what. But look what happens here. It's biotech, so the criminals know, they take it public. They know the company's going to need more money, so they drive it down. Then they do, there's some news, or maybe there's some excitement, and it rallies a bit, but what do? They drive it back down. Then there's some sort of hype, maybe a financing gets done, and they drive it down. And then you get excited because, oh my gosh, it's up. And I'm not picking on you. Anybody would get excited. That's a hell of a move. But in the context of a 5-year time frame, it hasn't even gotten back to all this slaughter from the original valuations. I don't know. I think there's much better places to be. That's my reaction. I think they're going to try to get it down, not up. And I know as soon as I say that, it'll go up, but we'll see. It's broken. It's at this level, I guess. Maybe that's some sort of support. Or here might be support. So maybe it only goes down a little bit more and then bounces. But I don't really see this even getting back to $77.50. Maybe if it bounces, it gets up into here. I don't know. It doesn't thrill me. Doesn't thrill me. Finger gives us the finger. I don't know about that. It's just, all these stocks, all of it. Number one, any stock under $5, any stock under $10, if they need capital, they're going to get destroyed. They're going to go into Jeff Easton, Ari Rubinstein, Kurt Kramer, that's where they're going to end up. Anybody that Benchmark recommends, they're going to get slaughtered if they need money. It's just the way it is. And how do you fight it? It's hard to fight it. Because the premise still is for a company like Finger that it needs to be on the NASDAQ where Adina Friedman sits on her ever expanding rear end and does nothing. In order for institutional investors to want to buy it. If I were Donald Trump, that's where if I wanted to unleash the ability of the United States of America to become the economic engine of the world, I would go to the micro cap markets and the small cap markets, the OTC markets, and Adina Friedman's useless leadership of the NASDAQ market. And I would just say, Adina, you're fired. And I'd say, Chucky Cromwell, you're fired. And I would possibly put them in a temporary partnership with the federal government. I know that sounds socialist, but maybe you'd say that the United States government is going to provide the money to create legitimate market makers, legitimate research, legitimate compliance officers, legitimate settlement, and in return, they're going to get 50% of the profit until they double their money, and then they get 25% of the profit forever or something. But I think you've got to change these smaller markets. If you're going to do a financing as a bank, you have to create a legitimate market for that stock. You have to have buyers that are legitimate. which means research, outreach to retail, educating retail. You've got to have fair price discovery. You've got to have no high frequency trading. Why does somebody need to come into a stock like Finger and sell it so quickly because they can't locate the shares? It doesn't even make any sense. And the exemption, I heard on, I listened to Junk Savvy's call this morning, and she's very good, very, very good. I highly recommend her calls. But somebody said that naked short selling is legal in some circumstances. Well, that's a tricky use of words. What's allowed in the United States, 4 tickets: buy, sell short legitimately, and then sell stock under the reg show exemption, under the market maker exemption. But it's a very specific, it was originally designed to give time to clean everything up. Of course, these guys from Burroughs Park and their head honchos like Steve Cohen just accelerated the fraud. This is all my opinion. Do I have to keep saying that? Just everything I say is bloviating an opinion. But the reg show exemption, the market maker exemption, you still need to locate the shares, and you need to do it in writing. It comes under these words, reasonable expectation to, I guess it says locate. I don't know if it uses that word. But regardless, you have to know where the stock is before you sell. And having stock that has a legend on it that's free to trade 6 months later, that's breaking the law by the SEC's own filings. I have one of them here. I've been throwing away a lot of the stuff I printed out, but I read it to you the other week. 2 Irishmen were the attorneys at the SEC, or one was an Irishman and one was an Arab. I'll try to find it again. Yeah, here it is. There it is. Daniel Maher and Edward Riley went after Mintz. It's so anti-Semitic to target these Jewish guys. Why don't they go after an Irishman sometime or an Arab? They always go after the Jewish guys. But anyway, in here, defendants in some instances would acquire the required stock after their short sales. Defendants knew or were reckless in not knowing that these practices failed to comply with applicable trading rules that require a short seller to locate the stock prior to the short sale. It also in here somewhere, or maybe it was another SEC. Here it is on page 8. The source of the locate must be documented. The source of the locate must be documented. Before accepting, Rule 200G of Regulation Show requires that broker-dealers mark all sale orders of equity as long, short, or short exempt. Before accepting a short sale order or effecting a short sale for its own account, Rule 203B(1) of Regulation Show requires a broker-dealer to locate the securities being sold, i.e., a broker-dealer must A, borrow the security. Well, it's actually I. Borrow the securities. 2 I's, enter into a bona fide arrangement to borrow the securities. Or 3 I's, have reasonable grounds to believe that the securities can be borrowed so that they can be delivered on the date the delivery is due. This provision is generally referred to as the locate requirement under Regulation Show. The source of the locate must be documented. Ownership of a security convertible into or exchangeable for the security being sold is not a borrow, nor is it an arrangement to borrow the security being sold. Ownership of a security convertible into or exchangeable for the security being sold would not provide reasonable grounds to believe the security being sold can be borrowed. Deemed to own. They're so unfair. Edward J. Riley and Daniel J. Maher. So unfair. How can they pick on Hal Mintz? Deemed to own. Under Regulation Show, a seller is deemed to own a security only if the seller has a net long position in the security. A seller may be deemed to own a security if, for example, I, the person purchased or has entered into an unconditional contract binding on both parties thereto to purchase it, but has yet to receive the security. I did a lot of that in my career. A lot. That's why I understand some of this. Or 2I, the person owns a security convertible into or exchangeable for it and has tendered such security for conversion or exchange. For purposes of order marketing rules under Regulation Show, a seller of convertible securities, i.e., other securities that are convertible into the underlying stock being sold, is not, quote unquote, deemed to own the underlying common stock until the seller has tendered such convertible security for conversion or exchange. Man, they pick on these guys, Hal Mintz. He's just a guy trying to make money, pay for his condo. Reg Show was designed to reduce failures to deliver. It almost makes you laugh. Which occur when a seller fails to deliver securities that it has sold by settlement date. Failures to deliver may negatively impact the market and shareholders. Oh, really? Sellers who fail to deliver securities on the settlement date may attempt to use this additional freedom to engage in trading activities to depress improperly the price of a security. You think so? Further, by not borrowing securities and therefore risking that it will not be able to make delivery within the standard settlement period, the seller benefits from not incurring the cost of borrowing the shares. I'm not going to look it up, but to my memory, what Reg Show allows is if you sell and you have located the shares, it allows 1 day, it might be 2 days, additional to your settlement date. It doesn't allow weeks. It doesn't allow months. It doesn't allow years. But then you get this other article, which I don't know if it's over here or not. You know, the one with the toad on it. And they moved the shares offshore, and we stopped enforcing our own rules. We stopped enforcing our own rules. I can't find that one. So anyway, any company, Jack, and Finger is one of them, who still requires capital is going to run into the same problems Finger has. So I don't think Finger is the ones giving us the finger. I think it's Adina Friedman. But she's probably such an idiot. She doesn't even see the problem. I don't think the SEC, don't get your hope up. I don't think Trump's going to do anything about it. But he might. But we're going to probably be in World War III within a year and a half, if we're not already in it. Trump's going to have a lot of other things on his mind than settlement of securities. Just my opinion. Well, hello there. It's been a long time. How you doing? How am I doing? Well, I guess I'm doing fine. I don't think we need, Keith, I don't think we need shorts in micro caps or small caps. Now, you could debate that, obviously. But if the price of having legal shorts in micro caps and small caps, where there are no native buyers, there's no research, If you move your account to Merrill Lynch, they're going to tell you to sell everything in your account under $5 and move it to the Merrill Lynch Asset Management AI Opportunity Growth Plus Trust Bust opportunity of the day. I think the need, as you put it, for legal shorts is way offset by the harm done by these illegal shorts. It's trillions of dollars worth. It's massive. And it's all the same guys. And their allegiances to each other, not to the United States of America's financial securities laws. Their allegiance is to making money and not ratting on each other. It's more important to troll the rest of the world. Well, Spiny, I know you don't like Trump. I hope as you absorb the horrendous loss of leadership by losing Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Barack Obama, and Samantha Powers, and Victoria Nuland, and Anthony Blinken, that you somehow can maintain some hope in the future of America without that tremendous Democratic Party leadership that we've just had to forego. And I don't know what I think about Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America. Does it really matter? If he had called it the Gulf of the Americas, maybe that would have been a little bit better. But apparently Biden signed some sort of law regarding the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe by calling it Gulf of America, we can drill there. I don't know. But I'm sorry you lost the leadership of Joe Biden. He was a tremendously forward-thinking, fair, equitable, and intelligent man. Yeah, at least you recognized it. Well, some can focus on the equity markets, but nobody understands it. What's happened is they blame the investor for being foolish. And I'm telling you, Steve Cohen would not be able to buy baseball teams unless he had cheated. Steve Cohen cheated his entire career to become uber wealthy. But they all do. They all do. They all do. They're not going to give up this path to riches. They're not going to give it up. And Trump, behind Trump were a lot of oligarchs. He's backing Kushner, his son-in-law, can't stand, and the banksters are going to be right there behind him. I don't expect that you're going to see a revolutionary change under Trump, but I hope I'm wrong. And like I said, I think our best avenue would be to try to convince Trump to change the small cap markets. Forget about Tesla, DJT, the rest of them. Let them take care of themselves. That's just one bully fighting another bully. But down below, there's nobody protecting the American dream. I wouldn't be assistant chair. I used to think it was okay, but I wouldn't. I'd have to be the top guy or none at all. It's a horrible feeling to be in there, know what to do, know that you want to stand, and then somebody else controls it. And you know, if you're going to lead, you got to be the leader. Getting revenge on the other team, not doing the work of the American people. Well, yeah, when Joe Biden came in, he never said about getting revenge on Trump. He didn't in New York, in Georgia, and in the FBI, he didn't turn the government into an all-out assault, political assault on his political foe, not Joe Biden. Joe Biden set about doing the work of the American people. He ramped up a war in the Ukraine where his family was benefiting from a giant slush fund bordering on violating what's the word? It begins with an E, but being I can't think of the word, but basically working against our own nation, selling access to his vice presidential office for profit for Joe Biden, his brother, his sister. But he didn't. No, he was doing the work of the American people. He didn't sell us out to China either. Doing the work of the American people. Anyway. This channel hasn't been the same since Lou died. I never knew Lou. I never had Lou on here. I liked Lou, and I think Lou had he had a charisma that people followed him. I also thought Lou had access to information somehow that was, although that medical thing he did and a couple of others, I don't know, the COSM, I don't know. I think those might have been maybe unintentional sellouts, but not everybody knows everything. But I also think Lou had a vision of how people could take advantage, because every crisis, as they say, has opportunity. Every rigged market, there must be a way to use the gravity of the players to slingshot yourself to some profits. And I think Lou saw that. So I respected Lou's ideas. I listened to him. I respected his abilities. And, I liked Lou. But my channel had nothing to do with Lou. and it didn't start because of him. Well, I don't know. That's really a non sequitur. I would argue my channel has gone down, at least from my own perspective, over the last year or so, just because everything has been unrelentingly negative in terms of the stock prices. I've allowed myself to overreact, and I've gotten bored by answering the same questions over and over again. So I think you have legitimate observation that my channel, sucks. Lou had mad personality, made you laugh while selling you out. Yeah, he was. Like I say, there was a charisma to him. I also think he was trying to teach you guys skills that he learned. I bet that every time Lou presented an idea or invested in an idea, well, many times he was probably getting paid. That happens on Wall Street, and it's normal. He may have sold, like you say, sold us out sometimes. Like that medical MNRA, there was so much money being made off of that. But Lou, that's what Wall Street did. Wall Street's the companies, they're the matter of the headquarters and then the retail offices. And the retail offices are out there to sell the crap that headquarters comes up with. Headquarters is getting the fees, they're trading against retail. It's always been such. Charlie Merrill started out wanting to be honest towards Main Street, but Wall Street's always about playing the retail investor for the sucker. They all do it. And Lou did it, maybe. Maybe he didn't know he was doing it. I don't know. But I think Lou was teaching some basic money management skills or ideas anyway. And he was right on quite a few of his calls, quite a few. All right, here's Ham calling in. Let me see if I can get him to talk to you. Hello?
What's happening?
Not much. Let me see if you want to go live. I can see if I can get this speaker.
All right, let's go.
Just hang on. The speaker might not come on. Oh, there it is. Bluetooth.
Battery 80%. Connected to mid-life valve.
All right. All right, that should do it.
Are you live?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'll start off by very quiet in the marketplace. It's it's only a few names that go, and the rest of it's all dead. If you're long Netflix, congratulations. That's about it. All right, so
And NVIDIA.
yeah, well, Netflix is a $900 stock. You know they don't split these stocks like they used to, William.
Yeah.
So they can manipulate these things any way they want.
Look at Robinhood, almost $51.
Yeah, don't make a difference. Let me just talk about.
All right. Sorry.
We'll go to that thing. MLSS, I'm starting to get out of it right around here, 130. The only reason I'm doing it, I'm using it as a source of funds, William. No other reason.
Well, you're turning it into a winner.
Well, I'm not looking. my idea wasn't to make 30 cents, but I'm looking for other opportunities like finger motion. I bought some more finger motion, so I'm going to make a decision. Unless something comes across to me that I need to jump in, I will most likely buy more finger motion with it. But that's what I'm doing. There's nothing wrong. You know the news as well as I do. And, if I get out, it's going up. If I hold on, it's going down. That's just the way it's been on everything, right?
Yeah, that's
just the way that's just the way things are working out for us.
Yeah.
But anyway, Netflix, you can see what happens here. I made a post before I ran out the door that I believe finger motion will be profitable. And when it is profitable, you're going to get that type of move just on fundamentals. And then you add this short squeeze to it. So again, that's the type of move I'm looking for. I'm not here for a stock to go up a quarter. MLSS is a stock that went up a quarter. I have no love. I hardly know what the hell they do, and I'm just moving along for reasons just to raise capital. Other than that, there's no other reason to sell it or to be in it for me. That's how I feel. All right. I thought we were here for the news. The news came out. I'm not looking for the slow boat to China. I'm looking for, like everyone else, I'm looking for something that's going to move quickly, and it just hasn't. So I move along. All right. Yesterday, I heard about that NIXX. There were big buyers around. I guess they plugged them all. William, I had a friend of ours. He bought 2,000 at 4:60 in the morning. I had to buy it when I heard it. He bought it pre-market. And I told him, I just throw it out there at 6. I didn't even see it trade at 6, but he sold it at 6, made $2,800.
That's amazing.
So he bought it back today at 4:40.
That's amazing.
Quick trade. Listen, people, when you buy something, put it out for sale. You never know. Here it is. I didn't know it was going to go from 440, 460 to 6. I don't even know when it happened, but it did. And he made $2,800. You can always cancel your offering. If you don't have an offering out there, you can't sell it. Just remember that. And any name you buy.
And by the way, it's now 424, so that was a great trade for him.
Where is it right now?
424. It might be a buy the dip candidate.
I think it's 442 right now. He did buy the dip. We bought it at 440.
Maybe I've got to refresh. Yeah, it's showing 431. 430.
I'm just looking down. That's all.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that you can trade other names. You got to make some money somewhere. You got to keep looking around. Finger motion is an accumulation stock until it happens. And it will happen. And I'll get to Trump in a minute on that subject. But I just wanted to talk about that. How you can play things around and play, do whatever you can, move it around, grab whatever you can anywhere. All right. What else do I really only have that GBUX. By the way, that GBUX, I'm hearing major news within a month. If you want to.
Do you still own it?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So I'm not.
What do you think the news is, or you don't know?
They told me 2025 is going to be a big year for the company. They say there's things coming this month. All right, so I'm waiting. We'll see what happens.
GBUX.
All right, I've owned it for a while. I paid 75 cents for it. I've added some. I bought some at 230, like 300, 400 shares. I just averaged up as it went up a little bit. So my average is probably 80 cents on 10,000 shares. So, that's why I own that. Again, the NIXX, I don't know anything about what the company's doing. I haven't read any news. I was just told it was a big order around to buy. That's what I told everybody yesterday morning. They got to 5. They wouldn't let it go through. I had a friend of mine who bought 50,000 around that level, a hedge fund guy. And, I don't know if he sold it, but he bought it around 5. He was taking a shot. He said they won't let it go through 5. So obviously if it goes through 5, that's when it takes off. Because they won't let it go through 5. What else did I want to talk about before I get to Trump? What else am I looking at here? That KNW, new low, 12 cents. GMGI, These are Lynn partner deals, and they both have the same look of debt. Just keep drifting lower. Remember, those companies have debt spiral notes on them, meaning Lynn Partners has the right to convert at the lowest possible point. So stay away. I have nothing against the companies. If anyone from the companies pissed off at me, you signed the deal, and we're just telling everybody be careful. So don't be pissed at me. I got people yelling at me all the time about that. What are you doing? I said, I'm just telling people I know to be careful. You want to buy the stock? Good luck. I could care less. I hope you make money, but the probability is if you cure cancer, the stock ain't going anywhere with those animals. They control it and they sell it. That's it. They belong in jail. The government, the SEC is a disgrace for allowing these guys to exist. Between Yorkville, the people at Aegis, Benchmark, all these guys are crooks, including Lynn, the Kramers, all of them. Hal Mintz, there's so many of them. They were all making money for that Anson fund. They all work together as a team, as you can see now. Remember, Hindenburg, Andrew Leff, Capybara, all these guys did the same thing. We can all do the same thing. Just go out, write a report, put a negative thing on it, get distribution, and pretty soon you have a following, everybody knocking it down for you. That's what they do. Take away the short sale exemption and the fails to deliver, they can't stay short, and that'll end the manipulation. William, people have been posting GameStop and DJT. JP Morgan is not allowing people to sell market orders, to buy or sell.
Wow.
I think it's more on the sell side, because when you sell stock with a market order, obviously you're trying to knock it down, right?
Yeah.
That's their way of putting in the the uptick rule. That's what they're trying to do, it seems. Like they're using that. Like you can't just sell at the market. That's how they push those stocks down $5 when they do that. Sell another 10,000 at the market. Knock it down 30 cents. Sell another 10. That's what they keep doing. So at least they're aware of it. It could be the beginning of the end. Could be JP Morgan telling people, hey man, this game's going, the fraud stuff is going away, so be careful. I wouldn't be surprised. Now let's get on to, all right, the MLSS, I have to be done, it's trading at 131. Anyway, let's get on to Trump. William, again, people have been trying to calm me down about it, but I know it's not the number one thing on his mind. Saving the world is obviously, he's got a lot of things going on, besides saving the country. But how much longer do we have to sit here before he utters the word that if you make it short or you fail to deliver, you're going to jail? That's all he has to say. Now, I don't know why they haven't confirmed the new SEC guy, Atkins, and they put this other guy, this SEC commissioner, as the head of the SEC until he gets confirmed. I don't know who, I never even heard the guy's name. I don't even know his name, I'm sorry. And the guy Atkins is the next guy. Why is it taking so long to confirm this guy? Who gives a shit what goes on at the SEC? No one's ever cared before. I don't know what are they going to grill the guy about? I don't even know when that comes up. If anyone knows when he's going to be grilled in front of Congress, please let us know. Maybe he'll say the right thing. Who the hell knows? But I'm a little disgusted that Trump hasn't been attacking these idiots because they deserve to be thrown in jail. Enough is enough of this nonsense. So I'm with you on that. And sitting here watching his stock go down, it's just appalling that he hasn't done anything. But the more they fuck around with it, the more I believe that he's going to do something. They all know about it. I don't understand how they let it happen. I mean, you have any thoughts on that, William, or am I just nutty?
Well, are the two separate?
Thank you.
I don't think Trump's going to do a whole lot initially, just because he's got a lot on his plate. But my opinion is he should, and I know maybe you disagree, but he should focus on the American dream, the economic engine, which is the small cap, micro cap markets. Let the big boys take care of themselves and just work on the over the counter in the NASDAQ markets. Make sure that there's price discovery and delivery, and go from there.
Well, that's all I want. I don't really care. I don't need anyone to teach me about what a stock is going to do in fundamentals. This is clearly about manipulation and flooding the market with counterfeit shares. That's all it's about. You know, and that NIXX started to go yesterday. Again, I know nothing about the company. They traded over 1 million something shares, and they just sold right into it like crazy. I mean, that's just not normal. People don't buy stocks and then turn around and sell them down $1 or 50 cents. It just doesn't happen. That's not, these stocks can't catch a break. All right. So anyway, I expect Trump to do something, and you know what? It's just common sense that he has to. Devin Nunes and Trump have made more statements about naked short selling than we have as a group. And we yell about it every day. He has the platform. I don't know who's in his ear saying that, you know, you're going to bring down society if this happens. I don't know if someone's got his ear. I doubt it. They can't take away all the stuff that they made. You know, if anyone wants to reach out to Devin Nunes and ask him what the fuck is going on,
well, I'll tell you what, if he does something, it's not going to be half steps. He'll go in whole hog, and whatever he does will rip it out, you know?
Listen, that's exactly how I feel. I mean, I really feel, I mean,
all right.
For those who say he's not going to do anything, that's just asinine.
Yeah.
You know, Devin Nunes has already thrown their hat in the ring. Just go read all their Truth Social naked short selling. Google that. There's more headlines going after the NASDAQ for manipulation. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
I think he's paying, I think DJT is probably paying, I think they're paying $5,000 to $10,000 a month to keep that information, you know, from my friends.
Oh, wow.
In real time.
Wow. So,
you know, that's what I heard, that they were paying a lot of money to get the information updated all the time.
It's a lot of squid.
Anyway, so let's move on to finger motion. All right, we're waiting for this order to be complete. If it's been completed, I don't know. I anticipate that's got to be coming shortly. The earnings came out, so obviously they got to be close with the audit. So we'll wait to see what happens there. Don't forget about the Roth Capital report. And William, I was talking to my friend at Roth, and from what he gathers, they really like the company, and they believe it's going to be a big hit. I think when we see that in writing from Roth, we'll explain, I guess, to everyone here, all the things all the gory details we don't know or we choose not to hear about. I think Roth will highlight that and show all the avenues of revenue and growth that we kind of just skirt over. And I think it'll be a big detailed report that will outline the fundamental beast that we do have in China. I think that we all look at it because the stock price isn't moving. You know, the stock price isn't moving due to fraud. But every time it does start to move, they knock it down. So it sort of turns us into saying, that's not good news. That's how everybody thinks. I have people that I put into the stock saying, oh my God, the stock never moves. It acts like shit. What's going on? And that's after when I spoke with them, I told them that it's manipulated, but they seem to forget that and go right after the company then, which is completely the wrong thing to do. And William, one thing I thought about the last few days is I'm glad that the company took the money. Before, I wasn't glad. I wasn't happy about it. And what changed was that, imagine if these guys knocked the stock down from 2 to where we are now, and the company did not get the money. The company would be in a really tight spot
The
there.
next raise would be at 50 cents.
So they raised the money at $1.50. So to me, taking a step back and holding my breath and looking at it the right way, saying, okay, this could have been 100 times worse. It isn't that bad. I wasn't happy about it, but it's not. If they didn't do it and we were $1.20, where are they doing if they needed the money, which they did need, they would be doing it way lower. So
Right.
the short sellers in this stock really got trapped here now, because now the company has the money. It's not like they just raised $5 million and bet it on a horse race and lost it.
Yeah.
This company's using the money to get to profitability in the things that they already have on the tape. And I think the truck financing of all that, that stuff for that big emergency response is massive. William, I put up something about a commercial about that AT&T net, whatever, I think that's what it's called, the one that's the emergency response program. Yeah, whatever it is. I put a video up of, I saw a commercial on television, and it's pretty good how they talk about during an emergency that the systems, all the phone systems in the US are so busy that the emergency response people can't get through on these same cell lines that we're using. Your phones get overwhelmed with calls. That's why the emergency response system is born, to stay off of those channels so that they can all communicate with each other. And that's, if you watch the commercial, that's what finger motion, to me, looks like what they're doing in China. And AT&T spent $8 billion. Finger motion got it for free. On top of that, finger motion gets to use the data from all the information they collect with the Chinese on the emergency response cars. All right, so it's a pretty crazy thing that they have this deal, and it's pretty crazy that AT&T came out and is nice enough to show us the commercials. I posted one onto my Twitter thing. If you want to try to find it, I don't know where it is, but it was a pretty good one to read, and listen to. Excuse me. It outlines all the benefits of having that service. And I'm sure the Chinese government's thinking along the same lines. And finger motion was right in the middle of that whole thing, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the special dividend, you got Roth Capital, you got the money driving revenue. I feel we're in a great spot. If Trump speaks about it, we're in the ultimate spot. But you know what? We're not waiting for Trump to speak. This company's put things in place to A, get profitable, and B, expose the naked shorts with the dividend. They're not waiting for anybody to help them out. But if Trump does step in, Trump just can't help out Trump stock. He's got to help everybody. So we're in a good spot. It's not the spot that I want to be in, believe me. So for anybody who wants to be in fucking being pissed off, it's, the stock's $1.15, you jerk off. I got it. I understand it. I don't control what they're doing here. All right, I can't stop it. I said it 1,000 times before. We both say we're not police officers. We can't stop the fraud. We can report the fraud, and that's what we've been doing. Now, do I have to make a fucking sign to abuse Trump? I don't want to do that. I'm not looking to get in a piss and fight with President Trump over, naked short selling. But for Christ's sake, he's got to do something sooner or later, right? Has to say something. But I'll make up a sign saying, trying to equate Donald Trump to Diaper Joe or something like that. Don't be like Diaper Joe and do nothing. Settle the trades. Something to piss him off and get him to move. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. I don't want to put a truck in front of the SEC yet because we don't even know who's running this stupid place. But if we do put a truck in front of the place, we're going to take it out on Donald Trump very hard. We're going to let him know that we're displeased with what he's doing and that he hasn't done anything yet. We're going to throw Devin under the bus and say Devin was complaining about naked short selling. Where's the follow-up? What's going on here? Either you have naked short sellers or you don't. So are they making believe, or they don't have anything? We need answers. And I'm looking forward to doing that, but I want to wait till we have an SEC chairman that's confirmed. I don't know what the big fucking deal is. Confirm the guy, Atkins, whoever, if that's the guy. Anyway, what else? Any other questions, William?
Well, somebody wants to know, are you still in G bucks? And I'm trying to find it, but anyway, that was a question. But I think you might have answered it.
I spoke about GBUX. I own it, and I bought some as high as 230, like 400 shares or 300 shares. But the most I paid was, I bought most of it at 75 when I told everybody. I think it's going to be a stock of 2025, and I'm hearing that this month there's supposed to be some major news. I don't know what it is. I heard before that it was a deal with Amazon, and we'll wait and see what happens there. MLSS, I just sold it.
And then what do you think of ZJYL?
I told you, I like ZJYL. But every time it's got these false moves up to $1, everybody keeps telling it's going to go. I'd rather pay $1.50 for it and see when it goes than trying to. If you want to buy it and accumulate it, you buy it and accumulate it. But I'd rather wait till I see a sign from the gods or hear something.
Is there?
Remember, people, they did a 20-for-1 forward split. That means the short position's up 20 times. The people that were in when the stock was 300 didn't do a forward split to sell it at 90 cents. I can tell you that for sure. They could have kept it at 300, 200 all day long and manipulated it up there. Why would you do it down here?
Is there that C2, that vehicle deal, is there recurring revenue or just revenue from the installation?
No, I think that they have to monitor it. I think that's what they said, William.
Yeah. So it comes
from.
He said
they monitor it, so it is recurring. They get to see the data, use the data, and they monitor it. So I guess they have some sort of recurring revenue from it. Okay. Listen, the one thing I heard from a big shareholder is that look for the profits in this deal to be in the financials. They're not going to bang a drum going down Broadway telling everybody how much they make on each truck. I believe it's going to be in the financials. That's what I was told. That it'll be in the financials because it's such a massive deal that I guess they don't want to upset the other players in China, showing them making money and bragging about it otherwise. Because this is a monster deal they got. And I'm sure if you're the someone who's very powerful, hearing about you bragging about this all day long, that you could lose it. So I think that they're going to keep it low key. It'll be in the financials, which is I was told. So when the earnings come out in the next quarter, whatever the next earnings are, you're going to start seeing big numbers of profitability, but that's where it'll be coming from.
Do you have any thoughts on why G-Bucks is not trading today? There's no volume.
I'm in my car making a phone call, and I have no idea.
Maybe there's news.
It trades when it wants to trade. It trades. Listen, the one good thing is that if it's not trading, that's a good sign. There's no manipulation, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess. But it also could be there. Maybe there's news. When did you make that AT&T post?
I would say yesterday. Just scroll down. It's got to be under. Hit a $sign FNGR. Maybe you'll see it there. It's a great video by AT&T. It's really good.
there was an executive order from Trump going after RICO entities and calling out the SEC colluding in their illegal activities. I don't know. Maybe there was. I didn't hear about it, but that's the
Listen,
start.
I think that the SEC was running interference for these guys. There's no question about that. There's no question they did that. But, you know, going after the SEC for, hold on a second. I'm trying to look at the guy. He goes, what damn dividend? Jason Taylor. What damn dividend? The one that was supposed to be mid-December? Now, what do I do with this gentleman who's reached out to me on Twitter? What do I say to him? Do I be polite and say, I'm sorry, Jason, it didn't come on time? What do you want me to say? What should I say to a gentleman like that?
I guess he's got to write to the SEC.
Yeah, I wrote back, not sure what dividend you're talking about. Let him think I'm an idiot. How's that? I'll do the opposite. I just retweeted to him and said, I'm not sure what you're talking about. They know that's someone trying to make, listen, the company said they're doing the dividend. He said it in the video twice. What else do you want the guy to say? I don't know what to say. He said the dividend's coming, right? If the dividend doesn't come and you're a shareholder, we should get a lawyer. We'll get Mark Bazile, and he can sue the company for fraud, for misstatements. How's that one?
Yeah.
Am I right, William?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the CEO would put out a video stating he's doing the dividend twice and then not do it. Right? I don't think he needs that headache. Oh, I just made that up.
He might be a drinker.
And you could be a drinker and he could sit there. I made that up when I was drunk. Right?
So this
People, listen, let me just tell people, listen, I look at a lot of stocks, but there's no way I can advise anybody to buy these things, some of these crazy names. They move so fast and they're so dangerous that you could be, imagine if you bought puts on Netflix because you heard, so you shorted it because you thought, we thought something wasn't right. They put out a bad movie or whatever the hell it was. I mean, just look what they did. They took it up $100-something today. I mean, that, you know, it was up, you know, think about Netflix. It was up 100 and that's up 10%. Would I go out and buy Netflix to make a 10% return? I don't think I would risk it because if it goes down, it's going to go down 30%. Those are dangerous names. You want to play it and gamble with it? Good luck. I'm not in the gambling game anymore. My game is to make money a little every day, swing for the fences when I find a stock that I like a Finger Motion or whatever. And that's what I stay with. That's the way I wanted to play the game. If the rest of the stock market is nothing but the whole thing is a big casino. It's even more crazier than before. Stocks are moving. Listen, when we played the equity markets back in the day, if a stock moved $5, you were like a hero. You were like, you know, Warren Buffett. Stocks move $5 in intraday now, like it's no big deal. And when you're on the wrong side of those trades, you'll know how big a deal it is when you see a move like that. And you'll sit there and say, I can't do this anymore. You know, think about it. If you're trying to make $500 a day, all right, it's $2,500 a week, $10,000 a month, which is a great living. Imagine buying 1,000, shorting 1,000 Netflix, 100 shares of Netflix. You get wiped out. I mean, so it's so dangerous, some of these things. Either way. So I kind of stay away from them, and I try not to bring them up because they're too dangerous. You know, look at MLSS. I paid $1.06 excuse me, $1.01. It went to 65 cents on me. I was trying to find something that was safe, had a good story, and I'll take a shot. It went down. It was down 30%, more than 30%. Then it bounced back up, and I'm making 30%. All right, so I'll move to the sidelines. But thank God I didn't panic out. GDC, I didn't panic out. I mean, so it's a tough game. These are not, I own GDC at $2.50, $3, and I averaged down when I bought it at 70 cents or something like that. I sold it all at 7. I'll see you later. But, I almost got, it fell apart on me there too. I was getting crushed. But I made the determination based on that. I knew good people were buying it. MLSS, I knew good people were buying it. And that's why I stayed. Finger motion, I don't know there's good people here. I know there's great people here. Not good, great people. But no one can manipulate or move a stock. I don't care how much you buy. I had guys buying it at 7 million shares, and they sold it short, and then they attacked it down with capybara. And we all watched it. Those are my friends putting bids up for 500,000 at 7. And they're still here. Listen, we all believe what we see. Again, the homework is right there. It's easy to follow. Just go watch the videos, watch the CEO. This isn't a company that has a deal in the state of Maine. This company has deals in all of China. What is there, 1.7 billion people in China? I forgot the number.
1.4.
1.4. The U.S. has got 300 million people.
340.
340 to be exact. Wait, a couple of people just died. Knock it down a little bit. So, it's a big, big place. Everybody was fighting to get in China, from Nike to Tesla to Apple. Everybody wants China. And Finger Motion has a nice grip on China in the telecom space and now in the insurance data space. And now it's moved into doing this emergency response deal. And I guess they got that through the telecom sector. These are massive deals. Think about it. Finger Motion, based in the U.S., has got major deals in China. They could go into the telecoms. No one can go into a telecom business, building unless you're a Chinese national. You can't get in. Finger Motion has all this access. This is like a major deal. The stock doesn't show it, but the stock didn't show it last time when it was $1 and it ran to 10. Right? Well, it even went to 10 last time. Yeah. And that's where Lynn laid into it like crazy because they were getting run over. That's where the naked short exploded to north of 100 million shares during that run. And over the last 2 years, it just keeps building up. And you can sit there, so it doesn't have the zillions of shares that it used to. But just do 100,000 shares a day is 500 a week, 2 million a month. 12 months is another 24 million shares. I'm giving you basic numbers. We've had days where they sell 500,000 shares. Those numbers go up quick. And the difference between this and a GameStop or a DJT, when you got those algorithms on the stocks, I can't tell if they're selling and buying, selling and buying, selling and buying. If they sell 10 shares, do they buy back 10 or they buy back 8? I don't know. In Finger Motion, you can see them selling and never buying back any because there really is no selling. We see the manipulation. I don't see the selling. And people, well, the stock is down. Well, the stock is down because of manipulation, not because people are selling it. Don't get me wrong. Some people have bailed. I got it. I understand. I can never say they're not selling, but if 100,000 goes in, maybe 5,000 is sold by someone who bails out. And that's why I keep trying to tell you, do not tie up your capital if you're looking for something to trade. Buying the stock at $1.17, selling it at 122, you're wasting your breath. This is not the stock to do that to. Go buy something that's actually swinging back and forth, and those are the ones you can trade. This is an investment one, and if the investment pays off like I think it will, it'll change your life. And I stick to that.
Justin wants to move his finger from Webull to E-Trade, from Webull to E-Trade. Do you think
Just call
that's going to
E-Trade
help
up.
cause the stock to
Yes.
be?
Well, I think that Webull is a shit place. Webull and Robinhood are a creation of the bigger firms. And I'll give you an example. When I used to go to Las Vegas all the time, I never liked to gamble in Caesars or the Bellagio. I used to go across the street to the Barbary Coast and those smaller places across the street, right? If you know anything about Vegas, right across the street from these big fancy hotels, there's a bunch of small places. And you know what? It's more comfortable and you get better odds when you play there. And then I found out those small places are owned all by the big companies. So Caesars is here, this beautiful building. You look across the street and these small shacks, casinos. Those big guys own the small ones because there's like people like us that like to go play in a normal crap game than playing at the Bellagio with, I'm not here for a show. I'm here to make money, and I don't really give a shit who I'm playing with. As long as I can win and get more odds. That's why. And so I found out that those people own those casinos. I think that's the same thing going on with Robinhood. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, or Webull. Those are products of bigger firms. Robinhood stock went from $7 when he was testifying, when he lied and he covered up for the Wall Street that he didn't, they shut down the buy buttons and he lied and all that stuff about the margin. He took the bullet for Wall Street, and Wall Street, because he survived, has rewarded him. Now he's got a $50 stock, and that whatever that young kid who was in charge of Robinhood is worth billions of dollars now. I would have went out in front of Congress. Yeah, I would have made up anything they told me to say. But now he did the right thing to cover Wall Street's tracks. And now look at how he's rewarded. He's got a $50 stock. 50. It's a brokerage firm that sells your orders to Citadel. That's it. It's not like there's not any brokerage firms in the world, right? Webull's a new one. It's unbelievable.
So have you heard
this company has more value than anything.
Have you heard that DJT might distribute the Trump coin as a dividend?
I've heard it. I said it. You should do something with it. I asked if the coins were related. You remember GTI tried to do the dividend with the crypto coin. The SEC shut it down. We tried that already. For those who don't understand it, we were 2.5 years ahead of this curve. The SEC blocked us. So, I mean, I think I don't know. Listen, Trump is a smart cookie. He's very smart. I'm sure he's discussed DJT. And I'm sure if I'm angry, I don't even own DJT. I have nothing to do with it. And I'm angry about it. This guy owns what, 30% of the company, I think, or 40% of the company? He has to be fuming. And how Wall Street's robbing his client, his customers, his friends, whoever he's got buying the stock. He has friends buying the stock. So, he's got to be furious about it. And I'm sure people are going to his office like crazy. Bring this guy in, bring this guy in. I'm sure he's knocking him out. Do I think he needs to slow down? No, I think things are in the works. I think he's gonna come out with a plan. The minute he speaks about it, DJT will be up 50 and Finger will be up 15. And on their way to squeezing both of them. The minute he speaks. So if you think Trump is going to speak about naked short selling, you got to make your bets now. Don't wait.
What's your time frame for life-changing finger motion?
Listen, I wish I could tell you that. It can't be much longer. The company is pushing everything right down our throats right now. I can't tell you that in DJT because I don't know much about that company. But I know that Trump will fight the shorts. I just don't know the day. If Trump speaks, we win when he speaks. The company gives the dividend, we'll get him then. We got the company with the raw capital report outlining what you have fundamentally. I think you win then. And I think right behind that, the company will be profitable. We win again. The company's doing everything they can. The shorts had their chance to knock this company out and they failed. Anything else, William?
Not really, no. I think I bored everybody.
Well, that's it. I touched on everything that I follow. There's nothing left for me to talk about.
That's it.
I've gotten yelled at by all my friends in finger motion. I hear the same thing. I do believe that DJT is going to turn here shortly.
That must make it great to go home. Great to go home and talk to your wife. Listen to her yell at you too.
Listen, I'm getting abused at the pickleball court now. Everybody I played pickleball with owns the stock. Even though a foot doctor owns the stock. Everyone I talk to buys the stock. And I have to keep answering the questions. But when? Why? Why are the crooks running around? You guys forget that I don't have a gun and a badge. If I had a gun and a badge, I guarantee you it'd be over with. I'd be pulling up with one of those big black Suburbans with 10 guys jumping out and getting Jeff Easton and his buddies and hanging them out of a window until he buys back the stock. That's how fast that would end. And it's going to come. Those guys got to be shitting their pants. Hindenburg's going down. What's his name? Andrew Left. The guys at the Anson Fund. The head of Canaccord. The president of Canaccord's a scumbag. They've been notorious naked short sellers for a long time, the Canadian brokerage firms. Many years ago, the naked short orders were going from the U.S. to Canada back into the U.S. So Canaccord was built on naked short selling. And the CEO was involved in that Anson Fund. Just go read the story. All those people are going to be pointing the finger at each other. None of them want to go to jail. Just think about that guy at Hindenburg. You think he was a Harvard graduate understanding all these companies inside and out? He was attacking companies in India, everybody. That's a hedge fund giving him all the information, writing it for him, paying him to put it out under his umbrella. That's what that was. At least Andrew Left. We know he's an idiot because when he went on TV to explain his short position, everybody knew he was a buffoon. And I'll give you a great example. Go on YouTube and hit Andrew Left, or you can hit Andrew Left short and EXAS. Go on. He went on CNBC against the doctor who invented it. and the guy tore him up. Andrew Left knows nothing about it. It was I think it's a test for colon cancer. And Andrew Left, his defense was, no one's going to take this test. No one's going to use it. That was it. And he went on TV and bashed it, shorted the stock based on that. He knocked it down from 28 to 23. The stock went from 23 to 135, and Bristol Myers took a stake in it. People were shorting it based on the idiot's report. And I actually told everybody he's wrong way left. Everything he attacked, as soon as the attack was over, you buy it and it went back up. He was there for the short term, short and distort. Hindenburg is the same character, only he's using real data from somebody who's got an axe against the company, who's short. And if you read the complaint, William, against the Anson Fund and Hindenburg, they were communicating, telling him what to write, when to release the short position, the short report. Think about that one.
What's wrong with that?
No, it's nothing wrong there. And everybody knew about it, and they let it go on for such a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's remarkable that it did happen. Anything else, William? I told you, MLSS, I am done. I'll make a determination to do whatever money I have left. It's when I get home. So I own Finger. I got a lot of people in DJT. I do not own it myself. I don't have enough money to buy 100,000 shares of a $36 or $35 stock, wherever the hell it is. And the options, you know, these options, every time the options get expanded, the attacks come right behind it every time to knock them out. So if you did buy them, you can only buy cheap options, like when they don't want it, like it's now. And when they come screaming for it, the number one thing, sell. If you bought 50 calls, you sell 25, double your money, so you play for free. If you want to hold on to it, you hold on to it. Or you could sell them all and roll up and get a higher strike and use the profit and take all your money off the table. That's how dangerous this game is. And that's why I keep telling you to do that. Buy the dip, sell the rip, and if you like, use the profit to buy calls. I've said it maybe 1,000 times.
If I had a nickel,
The only other thing I own is that Jeep. The only thing I own, anything else I own is GBUX. GTII is, we got to wait for something to happen there, which is getting close, I think. And we'll come back, that'll come back to life soon, and we'll see what happens there. Anything else, William?
nope.
Come on, people. It's a cold day, nothing going on. What do you got? No one has anything. All right, listen, if you don't have no questions, I have nothing else to say. I've said everything.
All right, we'll meet up.
I'll speak to you later. If you have a question, then reach out. That's all.
All right. All right.
All right, goodbye.
Call ended.
You know, I just want to go take a nap. That's how I'm bored. How bored I am. But I just found this article I read to you about Nextbridge. It's October, but they did a letter of intent between Nextbridge and McCabe Petroleum. And McCabe Petroleum delivers its 75% net revenue interest with some other provisions. But it doesn't say that they're making any money out of it. He's keeping his override. But anyway, this is the Louisiana Heritage Play, and the Louisiana Heritage Play prospects were created by a world-class exploration team while having the benefit of being on shore, incorporating state-of-the-art deep water offshore 3D technology. And I've misread that. So they've been put together while having the benefit of being on shore. They've incorporated state-of-the-art deep water offshore 3D technology, which includes wide azimuth and reverse time migration processing in their development. The onshore location in southern Louisiana provides significant cost savings to drill, complete, and produce as compared to offshore. And then there's infrastructure there. And they're going to go after additional opportunities. The PV10 potential of these prospects is in multiple trillions of cubic feet of reserves, multiple TCF of natural gas. With the addition of the Louisiana Heritage Play to the list of assets in the NextBridge portfolio, we are expanding our goal to be a leading independent oil and gas company, delivering high-tech, high-impact exploration opportunities. Anyway. All right, I think I might sign off. It's 1:13, unless you have some questions. Let's see if there's any news anywhere that's worth highlighting. Nothing there. Well, it all looks pretty non-eventful. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Ham spoke. It's a quiet day, and I guess we'll catch up tomorrow. I think tomorrow is Thursday. My next eye appointment is on Thursday, but it's not tomorrow. It's next week. So I'll come on tomorrow. And hopefully maybe something will happen. I don't know if you would have gotten it at 28 cents. They came in. I think it's being played with. And right now the ask is $33.99. So you got a good price, I think. You got filled at $32.61. The bid is higher than what you paid. So I'd just be happy with that. I don't think you would have gotten it at 28. But $32.61 is a great price, I think. The bid's 33 now. That's awesome. I think that's fantastic that you got that price. And they did it under for some reason. I guess they just trying to short it, keep it under control. Well, that's pretty awesome. I don't think you have too much longer to wait, but I could be wrong. Just looking at the chart, next time it goes through 40 cents, it's going to go, I think. And you won't ever be able to buy it back down here. But I said that last month too. It's just to show that charts don't always operate when you expect them to. Anyway, that's a great order. Congratulations, Ricky. All right, I'm going to sign off. We'll talk tomorrow. I wish everyone well. Sorry I'm so low key. I am. So peace. We'll catch you on the flip side.